Hello guys and welcome to GA Flying. Today we are in Costa Rica and we will be checking out the current version of the Phenom 300. Current is important here because since the launch it has had 11 versions, I think, so a lot of stuff was improved, and I also wanted to only showcase it when it will be close to being ready. So now I think it is, and we will talk about what was improved and what is still waiting to be improved in future. In the beginning, I wasn't like a big fan of the plane, maybe more because of the real life plane that it is simulating. I was thinking it's kind of plasticky inside, and I do prefer wood in those jets. But in the end, especially the fact on how complex the simulation is has convinced me, and while it was like an acquired taste for me, very similar to the Starship from Black Square, I kind of learned to really like it, and I would like to show you why. So as I said, we are starting in Costa Rica, and the flight will be between two custom airports, very interesting airports. I have just discovered them lately. So this is the capital of Costa Rica that we are starting in, and the destination airport will be Panama. Let me just show you the map for the flight today. So here Costa Rica, and here Panama. Obviously this is like a proper IFR flight, so we will be following all of the normal waypoints, and there will be a sim brief plan. So this is just a simplification. The most important part is that this is not the main international airport in Panama, but a smaller one that has just like an amazing approach. And I hope you will enjoy it, and I hope that the weather will be good to really see it. The link to this airport, because it comes from Flightim.to, will be in the description. Maybe before we start, let me start with this airport, because I haven't seen it before, and I was kind of surprised that I have it, really, because I couldn't really identify where I got it from. I was checking in all of the normal sources, like checking the history of world updates, and I had no idea. Until I actually took a look at this FBO here, and I think in a second you will also know, so let me just accelerate. It's actually a part of the Jurassic Park World Pack that you can get from Orbx. That's saying for people who are not into Jurassic Park and not into stuff that is not realistic, the whole airport is totally realistic, like in the plan. This is the only element that is not realistic, and we will be not flying to Jurassic Park. So today it will be just a normal, realistic flight. Well, more or less. Okay. But the airport looks especially nice when it's dark. So when I was scouting here yesterday, it was actually getting dark, and there was like a gigantic storm here over the mountains, and it was just looking epic. When it comes to the weather today, I would expect we might also get a storm, looking at the clouds, but we will see. In general, when I'm flying in this area, it's always stormy, so I would also expect to have a similar weather today, and here you can see it. And this is also important because there are many opinions from people who are flying this plane that say that it's not behaving correctly, especially in strong wind conditions. So this is something that I will want to check out. I have flown the plane now, I think, around 8 times, and maybe I was lucky with the weather, but for me, the takeoff and landing behavior was pretty natural. So similar to what I'm used to from other lighter planes, because airliners and bigger jets are more stable. But this pretty much behaves for me like most other medium planes in the sim, even a little bit nicer after the updates. But this is also something that I will talk about. So now let's not prolong it. Let me just prepare the plane. So this pin is important, like in the Starship. If you don't take it off, you won't be able to retract the gear. And now the engine covers, for this we have to go back. We can also prepare this for the baggage of the passengers. There's a nice light when it's dark here. Let me show you another hatch that you can open. and we will be only shortly using it, because why I think it's a very immersive feature on this plane. I also think it's kind of not very convenient to use. So just to show you, this is where you can do manual fueling, like a truck will connect here and will fuel it up. I will just show you how it really works, but won't show you the whole process, because I think it's not that fun for me, at least. But it's great that it is part of the simulation here. And we can leave it open because it stays open. And let's just prepare the plane. So the first thing that we might want to do is looking at the status of the plane. Everything is on OK. This is nice, but we will also take a deeper look. So first, let me load the flight plan for today. There you go. And now one important thing, it saves the cleanliness state of the cabin. So if it was messy, it will be also messy in the next flight. So this is something that you have to do before the passengers come. Because later, once the passengers have arrived, you can only do it after serving them like snacks, drinks, or stuff. So you cannot clean it when the passengers are there. So here, clean the cabin. And here you can see the current state, 88%, so not that bad, but still, let's make it pristine. When it comes to this part of the simulation, I guess, when it comes to the passengers, I think it could be improved a little bit. So sometimes like the loss of satisfaction doesn't make sense. But in general, I do enjoy it. But I'm rather a person that likes all of those like small immersive touches and mini games and stuff. So I can also understand other people that will just ignore it. And I also was never able to reach 100%. I think when watching other pretty nice view. When watching other YouTubers, I have only seen one video where it was really 100% when the flight was over. So maybe we don't know all of the tricks yet, or maybe it needs some improvements to be easier to do. That saying, let's not prolong it too much. Let's go to ground ops. I have left the chocks on purpose because I want to also have the GPU. And now when we turn on the batteries, we will see that GPU is available. So let's just... Okay, and now we are on GPU power. And also we get the avionics. So one important part is that this is a very deep simulation. So even with the GPU, it's possible to overpower it. So to need more electricity than is really provided by it. And it's like described in a lot of detail in the manual. So let's start the basic process. So we can start here. This is Wi-Fi and like the kitchen stuff. So for now, we don't need it. This microphone on is how I have seen the real pilot flying it, testing the mask, because this way you change the microphone to the oxygen mask's microphone, and then if you click the tester, it will be more audible because the microphone will pick it up. So for now, the test for the oxygen mask is not working, but I have seen on Discord that it will be probably introduced in the future, but for now you can at least do this part of the check. So let's proceed here. This is the oxygen panel, and this is correct. This needs to be in, and it is in, and this needs to stay on auto. So we just proceed, batteries on, generators to auto, bus tie to auto. Now the bleed switches to auto, pretty much everything to auto. Let me just hide this one. Hydraulic pumps to open, pump 1 to auto, pump 2 to auto. This stays on off. We don't have any passengers yet. Those are the passenger signs. Anti-icing goes to both probes, but it's not active yet. And air conditioning here. Let me just move. So this goes to auto. This is the pressurization. Those are the packs. So pack 1, pack 2, or both, pretty much. This stays in low because with this we will wait for the engines. This is a mistake that is often made, just ramping it up, but it can overload the air conditioning if you do it without the engines. So this will stay on off for us. And you can just set up the temperature. As you can probably see, those are not the settings that I have left the plane with. Actually, state saving for the buttons is not integrated yet, but I have also seen it on lists of stuff that will probably come in the future. So for now, it is being reset every flight that we are doing. Nice. And with this, we will be slowly preparing for the passengers. So in general, the air conditioning is so weak without the engines that you will often have to turn on the engines and then, let the passengers in. In this case, we have pretty much optimal weather outside, so it's not that important. And we can go over to, maybe we can take a look at the G3000 Garmin suite. So it's one of my favorite ones, actually. But I think the integration, let me make a nicer view, the integration in the Honda Jet is a little bit more refined. That's saying the Honda Jet is out for like many years, I think now, and this only for 1 month, around 1 month. So I think we can expect a lot of improvements here, but it's close to being perfect, I would say. So as you maybe know, in the G3000 we can move those cyan and magenta frames here, and the cyan one is for this GTC, so this control unit, and the magenta one is for, just get strange, like, okay, the magenta one is for this. So if I want to change what is displayed here, I need to move the magenta frame here, and I have done it using this arrow here. So what I want is the checklist here, and we can go over the stuff. We can go over the stuff here. So the oxygen mask we have already checked. It's not possible, but the microphone is, and we have done it. The test panel is here. You can run various tests with it. For now, let's just do the annunciator test. And let me show you. And you just press start. Can I see it? No, let me just move back. Is anything happening? I don't see it. Let me just check. The fire test. It should be working. It was working before. Interesting. Okay, now it works.
Fire.
Okay, and I think we can proceed to the next points here. The tests are all run the same, so you're just moving to the right test and clicking, I think it's start. Yeah, it's very small. I'm not a big fan of tests, although I'm starting considering taking this out for a world tour, and then I will for sure do all of them, because then I'm getting pretty paranoid. And I think there is around 137, I'm not sure if I'm correct, like possible failures, so everything can fail. And while this plane appears very simple in that you just move everything to auto, there is a lot of logic behind it, and there is a very long manual for it. I can show you just quickly. So this is the user manual, and we can just go through it. Is there like a scroll? And let me just hold anywhere. So this is the explanation for the whole passenger system, but there are also lots and lots of explanations for all of the systems, including a very complicated anti-icing system that has many states, many limitations, and you really need to watch out. Sometimes it will be very hard to understand what the plane wants from you. So despite it appearing very simplistic on the outside, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. Okay, so let's just say that we have done the test panel. It was fun. Fire protection test we have run. Smoke detector, they are all there. And now, fasten seatbelt signs. So we are not yet ready. So I think this might be a good moment to slowly invite our passengers. We have the flight plan. So let's take a look at this one. So this is the state that we have now. You can always reset it. Oh, actually I messed it up. So re-import from SimBrief, and now what we see here is the state that we have imported from SimBrief, or you can like change it manually if you don't want SimBrief. And here is the state that we have in the plane. And obviously, most of the time they differ. Here we have 0 pounds on all of those seats, but we want those passengers. So we can either load them instantly, they will just teleport in, or we can do it in real time. Let me do real time. So first we will be waiting for the fuel truck. You can just skip it and then it will be fueled up. How long? Oh, in this case, it seems like the basic fuel was enough for our flight. So it didn't come in the end. So what we are expecting is the passenger bus. And in this case, I think I can just jump ahead to when they arrive. Or are they here already? I never know how fast they will be because it's like realistically coming to you. Can you see it? Yeah, but it's just like a beautiful airport really from Orbx. Although it looks very, very new. I'm not sure if the real one in Costa Rica has those bright colors still on the ground, but still. Okay, so here you can see when it will be coming. If it will be really 1 minute, maybe we won't have to jump ahead. So let's just see, here we can see the bus already incoming. And while this is happening, we can actually already prepare the flight plan. So let me see, I think it was automatically imported, but if it won't import automatically, it will be here under SimBrief, and here you will have a list of all of your flight plans, then you can just request it and import it. But I think I lately changed one of the settings, and this is why it has imported automatically. I think it's somewhere here, probably, maybe. I was lately changing it. Here, send flight plan, like SimBrief flight plan. So normally I had this to off, and yesterday I changed it to on, and now it's automatic. As you can see, I'm using 4 times wear and tear, and I'm also using, where is it? Here. This 30 hours random failures setting, and for now it's working pretty well. I have actually 2 things happen. I had to refill the oil, and I had 1 FADEC failure during the flight, but then the second one took over automatically. So this was also fine. So I think for like those 8 flights they have done, and many of them were pretty long, like 4 hours. This seems optimal for now for me as a setting. And as the passengers will be boarding, here you can see them. You can't see them going to your plane, but they will just appear here. Either way, when it comes to the failures and the status, this is pretty much where you see the status of most of the systems. The nice thing is that you don't have to click through all of those balls. If something will be wrong, the ball will change to red, so you will know there is something wrong. And you don't need to go to this site. So if you want to make it very immersive, you might just look for the signs and only go here if something is really bad and you have landed, and like you're just simulating that a mechanic came to you. I would just like to take a look at those tires here, because I think the pressure was too high, because the pressure also depends on the outside temperature. So this is a thing that FS Reborn is doing in many of the planes, and here we can see that the perfect one for the main gear is 180. So we have it a little bit too strong. I mean, too much pressure. So let's just move it down. And according to the manual, what happens if it's too much pressure? Oh, did I just... Huh? Okay, let me just hold it. If there will be too much, there is a bigger chance that it will explode on a hard landing. And if it will be too soft, then the wear rate will be bigger. Oh, and I also had to replace one tire because I was landing like on a kind of grass strip. It was like a luxury tropical runway still, but it was not paved. And I actually had to repair the tire a little bit because it was like, I think 70%. So I decided to replace it. Let's take a look if we have any passengers here. Yeah, almost ready. This is already going away. Yeah, sorry for the fueling. This is a pretty short flight. Normally when I'm calling the fuel truck, I have to add fuel, so then you can just see what is happening. But I guess we can just simulate it. Let me go outside. I will just show you what is happening. So let's go here. So the truck was standing here. It would just connect here. You would take off the cap. And then here you would just increase the amount of fuel you want. That would be displayed here. It's only in pounds. And this is like a very flimsy way to do it. I really don't like this switch. So actually, I prefer to not do it. But I'm still using the realistic option that the fuel truck comes and it takes some time to fuel. I'm just not simulating being the ground crew here and doing it by my own. Yeah, some really nice weather. Okay. Oops. So those strange camera views. So now we can proceed to the initialization. Do we have the passengers on board? Yeah, we have it on unload, so which means that it is loaded. So we can close both the baggage door and the cabin door. It seems like in the flight plan we didn't have any baggage. Or maybe we did, it's just not shown here. Yeah, so we will see it later once we unload. And we can proceed with the seat belts. So this is here. So just to explain it, this is seat belts off, but the electrical outlets on. So like the USB chargers and stuff, this is both on. And this is seat belts on, but chargers off. So I think the top one might be for like commercial operations like in airliners where all of those chargers are off during the takeoff and landing. But I haven't seen the real pilots use this option really. That's saying they are not really recording when doing like commercial operations on those planes, only when they are like the private owner or are transferring the plane. Either way, lots of talking. Let's just proceed. There is no beacon light, but the beacon is automatic. It comes on as soon as you start the engine, so it's pretty much how we want it to be. Emergency light switch for the passengers. Yup, let's arm it. Fuel quantity and balance. Let's just take a look. So here you can see the fuel seems balanced. So this is fine. Once again, normally I don't care that much about testing, but there are really lots and lots of failures here, which I love. So the oxygen pressure is also okay. Thrust levers are at idle. Parking brake is set, it's here. Engine switches, engine ignition switches to auto, which is the standard setting. This is also fine. And the doors are, I think, closed. Yup and yup. We only have the GPU on and the chocks. So normally when I'm flying like business jets, I'm starting from when I'm starting from the ramp, you can just like move ahead. But here it's sadly not possible. I couldn't find a place where it would be possible. So we will actually need some pushback. So in this time, I tried Googling, so what happens with the GPU? Obviously, you have to disconnect it in this case. But I could also find some airports that were allowing jets to just first turn on the engines and then being pushed back. So this is also something that we will be doing in this case because we don't really have an alternative. Okay, so this is after start. So I don't want after start, so I just click on the checklist and do before start. So it seems like we might be, just let me see. Yep, so now we can just start the engines then. So in general, it's pretty easy. The real pilots start with 2, like in most planes. You first move it to run, wait 2 seconds, and then move it to start. The only thing that you need to watch out for is the wind. The wind cannot blow from the aft with more than 10 knots, because otherwise, first, there's a possibility that you will damage the engine, and otherwise, the FADEC, so those automatic systems, will not allow you to start the engine properly. From what I could see, the wind should be along the runway, so it shouldn't be a problem. That's saying it was very varied in this one. So everything can happen. I haven't hot started it yet and really didn't have any problems with it yet, but you never know. So let me just start it. Okay, 1000 to 1000. Let me make sure, because I was talking a lot, no covers, okay, so let me start. Okay, everything goes up nicely. Let's monitor the temperature, but I think it should be fine. Okay, and everything is fine. So let's now move over to the next one. 1000 to 1000, 2 seconds, and to start. There is also like a special procedure if you decide to disconnect the GPU after the first start to make it easier for the ground crew and staff. Then it will automatically recognize it and raise the power on the engine that is already on, just to provide you more power for the start. And this is also interesting. Many people think this is a problem, but this is also like one of those intelligent systems. Depending on the temperature outside, it will either use both bleed air, bleed airs, I guess, or just turn off one of them or 2 of them. Okay, so I wanted to say something. Let's get rid of the GPU. So it's here, and now we can disconnect it, and now we also don't need the chocks. Everything is closed. After engine start, we can greet the passengers just to improve the comfort a little bit. So we have it here. Okay, those are very small, but they do have an influence on the satisfaction of those people. And here we can see how warm it is. Something that is very interesting, and I was thinking it's a joke in the beginning, they actually are different types of characters and prefer different things, so different temperatures, a different style of flying, but we are getting pretty hot. So now with the engines, we can turn it to more than low. And let's hope it will cool down the cabin at least a little bit. So everything is taken into consideration. So if the shutters are on or off, how long we are standing here, what time of day it is, what temperature it is. So a very, very advanced system. And also interesting stuff. When it comes to what the passengers are doing, even the time of the day is important. So for example, when it's night, there will be a bigger chance that they will try to take a nap, so go sleeping. And like for every one of their actions, there is a lot of rules when it's more probable. So this is a lot of fun. As I said, for me, I think just some small improvements needed. And maybe I would like to the PA announcements to be a little bit louder, because you can barely hear them, but I do also understand that this is kind of realistic. Okay, lots of talking, so let's just proceed then. GPU is disconnected. So here, this is the button where you can test the batteries, so we will be taking a look at, where is it? Here, the battery voltage. Ugh. And it's above 24, so this is fine. Okay, it is checked. Electronic emergency button, this is, no, where was it? Oh no, I just pushed it out back. Okay, so this is fine. And now we can start all of those tests here. let's start just with the voice record. And like in the Honda Jet, it's all done pretty much by the plane. So it's pretty easy as long as it works and you don't have a failure. With this TAWS test, you have to wait a little bit for all of the systems to start. I have seen it often for people that they're just very quickly starting up everything, then doing the test, and the test throws a failure. So with this one, you sometimes have to wait a little bit and then rerun it if needed.
Traffic system test passed.
Okay, so this one is interesting because you're pretty much only using 28. I mean, you're using the current temperature, but you cannot just, I think, accept it. Let me just check. So if I do 28 and then send the data, there is like an additional process. But I'm not sure if this process is also executed if you just go to the next point. So just to be sure, I'm just typing in it manual. Let's go back. So this ATR is this automatic thrust reserve system. So when a failure of one engine would happen, if I remember correctly, it would just add power to the other engine. And you can turn it on or off. This is our flight plan. This is fine. Landing elevation, okay. For Panama, now let's go over this one. Here we need to go down, import from MSFS. It's kind of in a very strange place, don't know why. And here we just sink the fuel on board. Let's load the weather for the airport where we are at. Oh, it's really turning a lot because it was very different when I started. You can also take a look at the meter now if you need it, and we can actually use it to adjust the barrel. So 3008. Really? They are not using, yeah, here 1019er, and you can see it here. And we have to also do it here because if we don't do it quickly, exactly, we will just get this warning that we have two different barrels here. For now, it doesn't synchronize, but it's already planned. Okay, so runway is correct, 07. This is the standard takeoff configuration with flaps 1. And here we are just accepting the takeoff speed, which means that we will rotate at 100. So in general, the landing and takeoff speeds of this plane are very, very slow, which is just great because it allows it to operate from very short runways, despite being very fast in the air. And something that we can already take from this side is the trim 9.1. So let's just do it here. It's just not easy to hit the right spot, at least with my hardware, but we have done it. And we can just keep it for now, although let me see the speeds. So I will take all. That's saying my monitor is pretty small, so I will either way not see much. And with this, we can just accept the initialization. Let's go to checklist here, and let's just proceed. So the test panel is off. I'm not sure which this one is, as it may be here. Either way, we can set it up now. So our cruise altitude will be for this flight, whoa, 450. That's strange. I haven't received such a high one from Simbrief for a long time for this plane. One problem that I have with the plane is that the altitude setup is like pretty slow, as you can see, especially for a jet that is cruising up very, very high. This is a lot of turning. I tried setting up, there's like a hotkey in MSFS that allows you to accelerate it, but actually the hotkey doesn't work for me in this plane, so I don't know. When I saw other YouTubers, they also had a problem with it. I only saw one YouTuber where it was working really quick for him, and I'm not sure why, and I'm kind of jealous of him because this is one of the most annoying parts of this one for me. Okay. Engine takeoff data, we have just done it. This is the landing elevation, so it is set to 18 feet. It will be really a beautiful approach if we will have nice weather, and we have set up the speeds. So speed knob no, because this is the version without auto thrust, and for now there is no version with auto thrust, so it might come later. And here we can move it to whatever you need, especially if you are flying online. For now we are flying offline, so we will just keep it at auto. Transponder TCAS, we have the altimeter set already because we had the data here, so it was pretty convenient to do it early. Let's check the flight controls, because once again, failures. So let's just be sure this will work. And actually, this is the only jet with maintenance features, as far as I know. So features on the level that we normally know from A2A. So pretty special. Okay. Trims, we have them here. This is fine. Flaps set takeoff. Takeoff set, and we can also observe it here. Ice protection is not required, it's nice and warm. And here we also have some data on how we might set the trim, but this was already provided to us here, so it's fine for us. And we are pretty much ready. As you can see, they are already unhappy. So what we can do is giving them Wi-Fi. So I was talking a little bit too much. Normally I am doing it earlier, and then you can see Wi-Fi here, and they are more happy, especially if one of them is a businessman. So this guy here, he really needs his Wi-Fi, okay, as soon as possible. So I should have done it some time ago. We are getting really hot, so let me just improve this one. And you can also turn down the temperature a little bit more, and then it helps sometimes. That's saying it's Costa Rica, so we can pretty much expect it to be really warm here. And sadly, one thing that is not working for me lately, I don't know why, is GSX. I have the newest version, I have done the update, but it's not even launching here. So we will just do the most primitive way to do it in MSFS, so just clicking Alt-P, which is simulating a straight back push. So let me just click Alt-P. Yeah, some really nice views. Maybe actually one of the nicer looking airports here, especially, as I said, like yesterday with this big storm here, and the lights of the city that also look really nice. Okay, so once again the beacon is automatically on, and once we will be pushed back, we will just turn on all of the rest. You can also probably notice the fans being louder because we have switched to high. But just as a reminder, only do it if you have the engines on. Otherwise you can overload the whole system. And there are lots and lots of people like on Discord. Okay, so nav lights and taxi lights. When it comes to this, those are the lights in the cabin. So let's just put them to max for the people to settle in, close the seat belts and stuff. So this is something that I'm normally doing, now I forgot. But then for the taxi, like in an airliner, you can just turn them off to get like a dark cabin for security reasons. I would just assume that like for private jets it might depend on the company, what the company policy is on this one, but as I couldn't really see it for the real pilots flying it, I will just use like real life airliner procedures for this. Okay, so they are seated, they have Wi-Fi, so I hope they are a little bit more happy, and we have the taxi light here. And with this we can pretty much start. Just a last look here if we haven't forgotten anything, but it seems to be fine. And the bleed is off. As I say, it's expected. I think up to 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so the handling on the ground, at least for me, is pretty nice. It does suffer from like weather cocking, so something that many lighter planes suffer from in MSFS 2024. I mean, it's a natural effect that you also have in the reality, but in the sim, it's just stronger. Actually, let me just use this one to show you the charts. So we can do a nice here taxi chart. Here you can not like this. You can zoom in and let's go. Yeah, I have to say this, like wear and tear has really won me over, because up until I had to refill the oil and have seen one of the failures, I wasn't a fan. But I just love those planes where you really feel that they are alive and that they can brake and that you have to pay attention. Just wasn't sure if we are taxiing here correctly, but yes, this is the whole short line. Just some very strange markings that I don't know from other airports. Yeah, and also the passenger simulation, especially those small touches that like during the night they are more happy to take a nap. So that pretty much everything matters. And there are also other things, like if you give them too much food and drink, they will like go to the toilet, and then there's obviously just one toilet, so many of them will be unhappy that they have to wait. So yeah, private pilot stuff. That's saying you're obviously not serving food. The same as you are not really operating the fuel process. It's just for additional immersion on those other functions that are normally working on and around the plane. So if you don't know, with clicking here you are getting this panel that allows you to just move stuff around, and this is the same with the map here. Okay, so we are far away from the ramp, so we can already prepare the lights here. It's a very interesting place. One day I might do a flight to Jurassic Park maybe from here, but for now I'm waiting for a bigger update. They have promised to change a lot of stuff on the islands, but for now nothing has really happened, so let's just wait. I wasn't really taking off from this side now, so I'm kind of wondering what this area here is for. Maybe warm up. I don't really count on anti-icing in Costa Rica. And I really like the rattling, so this is something that I lately noticed that is missing for me in many of those planes in the flight sim, that not even on the ground, but if there is turbulence in the air, the plane is dead silent, so nothing rattles, there is no additional sound. And I was even like proposing it on the Black Square forums to maybe introduce it in Black Square planes, because this is something that I'm really missing. Okay. A lot of talking, not enough doing here. This needs to be moved to off, so this is something that I have missed, because once again, talking too much, the test panel should be in the off position, if not used, which I guess we can all expect. Okay, so the pitch trim is okay, flaps set to 1, this is fine, seems like the generators are working. Let me just change the pane here. The click spots are not the best sometimes, like this. And I want this map to be full, and I want it to be zoomed out. Yeah, I'm just wondering how this departure will work, because normally I was getting the other departure that is going like this, but here there's like a very, because we have mountains here, so this is also how it works on the chart. Let me maybe show you. This is the departure, and we have this one that I wasn't using before. What was it called? Is it one of these? Oh yeah, the Athena one. So we will be pretty much starting here, and then immediately we have to do a loop. And it seems like the avionics are not liking it, but I hope it will just work out. Okay, so landing lights on, strobes on, the cabin is dark, so this is fine. Let's just get the flight director for takeoff here, and I think we can just start. So I will tell you what will happen. So we are going for toga. This is the standard takeoff thrust, and this is this thrust reserve thrust for very special situations. Let's say the indicator for them is here, so should be fine. There isn't really like a detent, you just need to pay attention to what is being displayed here. And just let me make sure I will have the map. And we can see that the VNAV screen is on. Maybe I will also talk about this one. I know, we will go flying in a second. So I have seen many people flying with this one black. So this is actually one of the best displays, so you should have it on. So you go to map settings, and let me just see. Inset window, is it this one? No, oh, not this one. Okay, so here, map settings, inset window, flight plan text. Yep. So you want this to be on, and I think there was something more. I have, sorry guys, I have set it up like a long time ago, and I would actually, yeah, I think this is now the standard setting here. Oh, and also the range arc. Some people are complaining that they are not seeing the arc that tells you when you will reach the set altitude. So it's here. And I guess I can get the departure actually here. So this strange Athena departure that I haven't flown before. We can zoom it in a little bit. Oops. And we can go. So the pitch up on the, like during the takeoff, is very, very high on this one. It's above 15 degrees, so much higher than even in many other similar planes. And we can check if we are ready for the takeoff. This button here. And it will tell you what is wrong. So for example, if you have the parking brake on, when clicking it, it will tell you. Or the trim is not set up. So also pretty nice, especially for a person like me that likes to forget a lot of things. This is perfect. Let's just here, heading select. Let me make sure that we're doing the right thing. So yeah, runway 07, Athena 4. Okay. So this is what we want. And we can just go to full and then a little bit back for it to change to takeoff. So a lot of rattling, and just let me concentrate here, because we will miss the right moment. Stop. Yeah, no stall, it's fine. Okay. Let me just concentrate on flying this thing. So we want yaw damper, we want nav, and we want flight level change. And now let's get this nice flight director. I'm just wondering if the plane knows what it is doing really with this like very strange approach, but let's just, and obviously gear up and flaps up. Sorry, for a second got distracted there. will it enter this loop or not? Because it's kind of looking like the mountain will be pretty close. And you can see lots and lots of thrust, 4000 vertical speed, which is expected for this one. Okay, and it enters it nicely. Okay, so when it comes to the takeoff, sorry, this was obviously my mistake. Gear comes up really fast, like I'm always doing when I'm not talking too much. And also the flaps, here I was just really concerned about it not catching this loop and got distracted. But as you can see, it flies it just perfectly. And we can go over to the checklist, because as you can see we are climbing really fast. And so this is the cyan one, it's marked, so this is also this one, we have the same color here. So let me just go to the checklist and let's do the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up, can confirm. Flaps are moved to 0, they are moved to 0. Thrust levers go to here, climb. Is it? Can I catch it? Oh, here, climb. And you also obviously can take a look here. Let me just move up a little bit. Okay, auto throttle is not installed, so this is not important. Here the transition altitude is 10,000 from what I know, so we can just change the barrel to standard, and also this one, otherwise it will scream at us. And yaw damper to on is one of the first things I have done. And we are already about... Whoa, this departure is really hardcore around the mountains. So we are above 10,000, so we can release the passengers. Although probably waiting a little bit until we end this move, this turn will be better, but oh well, we'll just proceed. External lights is required, above 10,000, we can just get rid. Oops, not this click spot, this click spot. And now we can allow the passengers to control their own lighting, and the interesting part is that they will really do it. And I will also show you in some time. Okay, so let's just proceed. Weather radar might not be needed. We will see in a second. We will go above the clouds here. We can just, for now, use the simplistic one. So let me make sure I will have the active flat frame here. And you can use the Connex radar. So the one that you have in most planes. Let's see if there's anything being displayed. No. Still, we have some turbulence. One interesting thing is that you can actually warn the people of the turbulence here, and they will be happier. So if you just calmly explain them that they can explain turbulence, then it will raise their satisfaction. So everything has a function here. It's not only for fun. Oh, it's getting really hot inside, so let's just put it to an even lower temperature, and here we are already at max. So, but this is also something realistic, that the air conditioning on board really struggles in this plane, which is also fine, because if it would be just set and forget, then it would not be like a mini game like I like it to be. Okay, windshield heat. We are out of the clouds, so we don't really need it, and it was, well, actually in the last part of the climb, using engine anti-ice and windshield anti-ice would be fine, because the TAT, so the total air temperature, was close to 0. That's saying we were so fast out of the clouds that it wasn't really an issue. And let's check what the next is be. The next one is for descent, so we don't need it. So then I prefer to have a map here, and I can turn on the radar, the weather radar. So weather selection, weather radar settings, radar on, and here weather. lots and lots of clicking to get it working, and here you can see only 20 miles. So let me just... is it? No, I'm just using the wrong thing here. So let's move it to 80 miles. And this should warn us if we will get some bad weather. If there would be any restriction on the climb out, on the departure, you can also use VNAV right away when on the ground, when preparing for takeoff. But here there was no limitation, and also according to what I've heard from like the real live pilot and stuff, they are not really using VNAV on climb, only on descent. I'm not sure why, because it actually works pretty nice. It works like in the Honda Jet. Maybe it's like a European thing, because like, for example, when I'm flying in the UK, there is a lot of restrictions on departures with a max altitude. But like when I'm flying in other countries, it's most of the time only the restriction to not be lower than and to not be higher than. So maybe this is why people are okay with not using it. And let's see what the climb will be. Pretty nice. So once again, because I was talking too much, right? So we missed all of the right moments. Obviously, you start with toga, and with toga you can keep it for maximum 5 minutes, which made sense because we had terrain all around and stuff. So it was making sense to stay on it. But then you move it to a continuous climb, and then during the cruise, Seems like the plane is on the easier and more basic side, but it's really not. Let's see, nothing displays here. Nice. How's the temperature? It's going down. And in a while, and because it's also getting like colder outside, in a while we will be able to, maybe now, to move the fence to medium. And while preparing stuff, I can already prepare the approach, but let's just check if the weather has not changed. So if you want to check the weather for the destination airport, it's here, waypoint info, airport. This is our destination airport, and here we have the weather. So let me see, 1014, this is fine, 28 degrees, okay. So a lot of clouds, so I hope the view will be nice. And the wind direction will be, I think, a crosswind for us. Yeah, exactly. Because we will be using runway number 1. So at least some crosswind, so we will be able to check out maybe what other people experienced and said that it's not totally correct, especially with crosswind during landing and also kind of takeoff. When it comes to the takeoff run that we have done, you could feel what the crosswind was doing with the plane, and also in this case we had this varied crosswind that was changing direction. So I still think it's not more than similar situations due to other high-quality planes, and they are lighter planes. But you do have to work the aileron if you are feeling that the plane is leaving the center line. So it might be true that in the real one you need less aileron input that you need in the sim. But I don't think this is something that is unique to the plane. I have experienced it in many other planes, to be honest. Whew. Okay, so once again, a lot of talking, a lot of unhappy people. As you can see, we are still climbing. Actually, I can already serve some coffee. And this is something that I'm not sure about, because sometimes, oh, now it appears. Okay, but sometimes it seems like it's delayed, the information that you are serving something, or sometimes it doesn't appear at all. But now it's fine. And we can see how this works. Doop, 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 doop. And here you can see really coffee. And they will take their time to drink it. When it comes to this door, it's a little bit bugged visually, but this is also something that was already reported. It's like in many situations it's much brighter than the other textures. Here in this very specific situation it's not that visible, but sometimes it seems very unnatural. So this is, if you spot it in your plane, this is something that might be also fixed. Here it looks like it should, because in the reality it's also a little bit brighter, but sometimes it's like totally bright and the rest is dark, so then it's wrong. And here you can see the passengers doing their own thing, and it also depends on the sun, how hot it is. So it's pretty much a full simulation of the passengers that I think we haven't seen in this detail before. As I said, it just needs some fine-tuning. And we will need to remember, oh, is it turbulence? Let me just see. Will it stop? If you don't know, if you have your, let me just show you. If you have your SimBrief flight plan, let me just see where it is. It's somewhere close to the bottom. There is actually a chart with expected turbulence, if there is any. So those are those. Here you can see only the winds that are pretty favorable, but normally you would also see zones with expected turbulence. Oh, this is actually one of those, I think. But normally there is this severity, there is like a symbol for the severity of the turbulence, and here I don't see it. So pretty much, I'm not sure if we are inside or outside. Judging by this one, I would just assume that we are inside. And as we are talking, it has already climbed to altitude. It can be very powerful, despite us having like a full cabin here. When it comes to the missing co-pilot, it's a one-pilot plane. I mean, you can have a co-pilot, but it's legal to fly it with just one pilot. And the real pilots that I have watched, and especially one channel that I really liked and will be included in the description, are mostly flying it solo. Like, they sometimes bring like pilot friends, but more to have a talk than really because they need them in the cockpit. And actually this one real pilot, the YouTuber that I'm talking about, I think his channel is called 1JC. He has his home airport, as far as I understand, in Panama, and this is also where I have seen this great approach to Panama that I will want to check out today. And he is also, well, as good as pretty much as the missionary bush pilot. So a lot of cameras in the cockpit, he's explaining everything that he is doing, so pretty much like perfect for our use. For us simmers needing instructions. And it's also like very high quality recordings from him. Okay, so let's just see where we expect to reach the altitude. So this is the banana that we have turned on here. This is the magenta one, so this will be controlled by this one. So let me just zoom out. Okay, so still some time to go. I guess I can already use the procedure. There is actually only one approach to this airport, so we don't have a big choice. I guess it will be more convenient if I show you on the other here. And this will be this approach. So we will come from Bonil, then we will join the VOR here and enter here, the Panama airport. So, yeah, through Bonil. Okay, so 01, here we want Bonil, and here we want the minimums. Let me just take a look. Do we have 1500? The approach is over the sea, so On most of the approach there is no danger really, but on the last part there is a lot of terrain, a beautiful looking terrain, so let's hope you will be able to see it and enjoy it. And we are pretty much reaching. It's interesting that for such a short flight it has assigned such a high altitude. But I guess we are just lacking with the winds, and normally there is no favorable wind so high up. It's getting cold now. Talking too much. Let's just back up. Let's not make them unhappy. So normally here is kind of the perfect spot for them. And we can see as we have reached the destination altitude, we already have the top of descent calculations, so we have 17 minutes. So it might make sense to also serve them some snacks because there will be not much time. And you can also check if they are hungry or thirsty. So it seems fine. We should have actually checked the hunger before serving it, but like they have paid for the service, so they will get it, and we don't have much time to serve it. We can go outside. I just want to... Actually, before we do it, let's make sure that the approach will be correct, because I'm kind of afraid there might be duplicated waypoints. So let's just see. Okay, TBG, then Bonnell, and then TBG again. So this is not correct. So we want to get rid of TBG. And now we can also take a look at how the approach will be. So once again, this is the magenta one, magenta frame. So this is what we will need. And here, let me just zoom in a little bit. Maybe zoom out like this. Then click on this panel. Here we had the top of descent, and here we can see how the approach will be. Yep, so going over TBG, here there will be two beautiful hills, mountains that will be flying between, which might generate a lot of turbulence in MSFS, we will see, especially since it's hot. And the interesting fact from the real pilot that I was talking is often flying here to Canada, is that they want to remove one of the hills to build something here. So it might be the last moments to enjoy this approach in this form. And talking too much, so we were in climb, and let's reduce it to cruise. And we can also reduce it even more. And it will slowly accelerate to the right speed. Let's take a look here. Not that bad, not good, not bad. We will just need to remember that after serving them, we will have to like order cleaning the cabin, and also let's inform them that we are cruising. And there is a lot here that is coded. According to the manual, for example, if you lose an engine and don't inform them, don't use the emergency, then the satisfaction will drop by a lot. If there is like an engine fire, they will panic even more. So you have to calm them pretty much. The same as with turbulence, although like more severe in this case. So I have to say, I really like it. Yeah. Okay. I'm afraid I might have talked too much again, so let me just control if I haven't forgotten anything. Oh yeah, because it's not this one. Yeah, I was wondering why it's not resetting. So we have still 11 minutes, so let me use the time to show you some stuff, so we can take a look at the outside model. I just need to make sure it will not be too loud. Should be fine. Yeah, just to spoil it, I really like it, although I'm still looking for the perfect livery. There are lots and lots of different liveries included, and already lots and lots of liveries on Flightim.to. And I think this might be the closest one to the perfect one for me, but I'm still not sure. There are many that looked great on the miniatures on Flightim.to, but then when downloaded, I didn't like them that much. So you never know. This is already pretty interesting. So what I think makes it hard to find a nice livery is this metal silver part that doesn't fit many of those layouts of the liveries. But in this case, it seems to fit in nicely, so I don't have a problem. And you can also enjoy the really nice sounds, although I do prefer the Honda Jet sounds a little bit, but just because the character of them in the real plane is a little bit different. But there is nothing wrong with those, and they are properly implemented here. 9 minutes, so maybe let me show you the cabin. Oh, actually there is one hidden click spot in the plane. I always like learning of all of those hidden click spots, so it's here to turn on the night lighting if you want to. You also have lighting here if you need it. Sadly this one, so the overhead lighting, is still not working, so this is on the list. This will be introduced with time. Let me make sure everything is fine here. We also have status pages for a lot of the systems in the plane. Let me just show you. Aircraft systems, and here we can check pretty much everything. Hydraulic pressure, the oxygen, the batteries. This is really interesting because people really struggle with heating the right temperature, but as I said, this is something that I really need because it's like a mini game. It's not just automatic and it works, and apparently this is how it is in the real one. But depending on the situation, getting the right temperature can be a real struggle. Okay, everything on the green here. Also the fuel systems. Normally those are not that important. I mean those schematics and stuff, but with 137 failures and me being paranoid, it's very good that this is there. When it comes to the breakers, they obviously all work. The problem is that they are more like touch breakers. It's very hard to see if they really pop or not. And like I'm just assuming that the pilot is going over them with the hand and then feeling if they are popped. But for simulation use, it's not very convenient, to be honest. But still, and you also have some here. Okay, there are 3 versions of the interior, which all are nice, but I'm not sure about those reflections. I have reflections on high and also those like ray matched reflections, so maybe on ultra it's even better, but I think it could be improved maybe a little bit throttled down. Either way, everything can be clicked here, so even small details like this one, you can flash the water, obviously. Let me just show you. But to be honest, this is something that we all know. It's really nothing special that you can open everything, flash everything and stuff. The special thing about it is that the passengers are doing it on their own. So you can see them going to the toilet. Now they are not, but they tend to. And then you can hear the door closing, opening, the water flushing. So it really feels alive, everything that is happening in the plane. And this is also something that is very unique. In the beginning, I didn't like it that much because it is a little bit like flimsy to click. Sometimes it doesn't register your click and you don't really understand what is working. So in the beginning, I was thinking it's a good idea, but I'm not sure if it will be fun. But when you learn exactly what it is doing, what you can do, then it starts being really satisfying. Let me just see 5 minutes so we can prepare here. So let's clean the cabin. And I think we have to click on them to cancel the service. But I'm not sure. I have the feeling, obviously, if a time passes, it will be cancelled on its own. Let me see. Is it cancelled like this? No, it's not. Maybe because we have provided both at the same time. Oh, collecting caps. Okay, now it works. Sometimes this gets lost somewhere, at least for me. And you can see that the cabin is 100 pristine backup. Okay, so now let me set up the descent. So 3,500. What's the altitude when we want to catch the glide slope? 1,900. It will be a glide path in this case because it's like an Arnav approach. So let's just throttle it down. Obviously, if we would have ATC, then we would not have to go down to the very bottom of the scale, to the destination altitude, or at least the one for catching the glide path. Here you can double check if VNAV is on, so we have VALT, so it is on, which is actually strange because in the Honda Jet, this lights up when VNAV is on. Here I think it does, but it's very, very subtle, so it's not visible in many phases of the flight and times of the day, so just look at the V here. And this is also something that was a request on the Discord to accelerate this scrolling here. Okay. So now it should descend on its own. Let me move the frame here, so we can just move it up, and here we can see the top of descent. Oh, pretty far away. Okay, and here we have some weather, but not much from what I can see. And we can also prepare the descent checklist, I guess. So just to check what we will have to do: windshield heat on, landing speeds calculated. So we can, as this will be in 2 minutes, we can already calculate the landing speeds. This is here, performance, landing data, runway 01. So this is okay. Let's just get the METAR, the same wind as before, and 1014. So we can already tune it into the backup barrow, 1014. And here, 101. It's like the standby barrow, I guess it's called. It seems like we should be able to land there. This is fine. Flaps free, which is the standard. And then we can accept the landing speeds. And it will be, V approach will be 109 and VREP will be 109. So this is what happens pretty much always. I think I only had one situations where they were different. And this is also typical for this plane. So we can go back to the nice radar that we had here. If there would be anything red appearing, we would know. Anything else? No, don't serve this. Okay, let me take a look. Yeah, it's probably because we have clicked too much. Let me just... So sometimes if they are still hungry, if you interrupt it, then they will not be happy. And there is like a whole... Okay, we can reduce the speed a little bit, because we will be descending in 50 seconds. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to overspeed this. This is fine, this is fine. So one thing about this plane is that it's very hard to decelerate, and you cannot use the air brake together with the flaps. So once you have flaps out, you cannot really help yourself with the brake to decelerate more. Something that you can do is use the gear if you want to. Because as you can see here, probably full flaps is 100, no, here, flaps 1 is 180, but gear operation is 250. So if you still need more drag, and are already on the flaps, so you cannot use the brakes, then you can use the gear. Or you can just shallow your approach. And here you can see we are already descending. Just make sure we are not accelerating too fast, so I'm taking out some power. And it's kind of cloudy here, so let's do the windshield heat. And soon we will be out of the safe range, so let's also use the engine heat. Because like the safe range is above 40 total air temperature. Let's see what the temperature is inside. So this is kind of perfect for many types of passengers, I find. But there are some that really like it colder, and it's crazy. It's even like a different preference for the like average male and female coded. So lots of fun. And now we can inform them of the descent. This is something that I think might be changed, because it tells you actually to put on the seat belts, but it's not what's normally being done when the descent is being initiated. It's like closer to 10,000 and stuff, so I'm not sure why it was recorded this way. Okay, as we are not overspeeding, I think we can also go to the back, and I want to show you the last thing. As there are those interactive displays and control panels, and normally all of them work in the real plane, but here only this one works. And they are pretty cool. They actually correctly show you how much time is remaining. They let you really control the light. It's very small here. You can really turn on the reading lights and stuff. So the only thing that according to the manual is not working yet is that you can adjust the temperature from here. I would expect it might mess up the like very advanced temperature simulation in the plane for now. From what I know, this is also supposed to be fixed, but just so you know, for the passengers to be able to control it themselves, it needs to be to passenger control, like set to passenger control. Let me do a last check. Let me check if the weather has not changed. So weather here. Where is it? 285. Okay, so it's moving closer to a headwind, but it's still a crosswind from what I think. Okay, let's do a last check. This is fine. Let me just... Can I cancel the coffee like this one? Yeah, I would just love to have some indication here on what the current status is after you have clicked it. Like some additional UI element for me to not get lost. No, it's still being served. So I'm not sure. Sometimes my logic on using it seems to be working, and sometimes it seems to not be working. So we are in the clouds, so it's good that we have engine anti-ice and windshield anti-ice. Is it not getting too hot? Maybe a little bit. So we can just move it. Yeah. And let me just zoom in on this one. Here you can see the deviation if you are going down correctly on the descent path, and here we have only a deviation of a couple of feet, so we are pretty much perfect on the descent. I'm just trying to think about what else is so special about it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have highlighted it enough, but like apart from the Learjet from Flying Simware, this is pretty much the only jet with like an advanced failure system. That saying, in the Learjet, the only wear and tear and maintenance is the one in the career mode. So with those flaps, struts, brakes and stuff, the ones that you can do from the outside. And the rest is just random failures. And here you have like a full maintenance mode. Like I have told you, I had to refill the oil. I had to change the pressure in the tires. So pretty much A to A level in a much more complicated plane. So looking at this in this way, I think this might be the most complex GA plane out there, because I think airliners, the ones with failures and maintenance, might be more complex and probably are, but they also have a much higher budget, I would assume. So yeah, it's for sure like an achievement in flight simming that we have this here. And here you can see one person went to the lavatory and we could hear the door, although I was speaking, so maybe not so well. When it comes to those, obviously you're supposed to turn them on in the right moment when this stuff really happens. I was just talking again, okay? So it took me some more time than normally. Let me just clean the cabin for it to be pristine, but I don't think it cancels those services. I'm still not sure about the logic of canceling them, because the other logic is described in much detail in the manual, but canceling it is not. So I still need some more experience on this one. And with this, I think we can jump up ahead. I have pretty much shown you everything that I know about this plane. There's probably more that I don't. But I think it will be more interesting if we will see each other closer to the approach. So see you. Okay, and welcome back. So we are close to crossing 10,000 feet, so let's prepare everything. As you can see, outside model, just great. And we have good weather, well, apart from the clouds. It seems like under the clouds we will be able to see all of those great views, so let's hope this will be a thing. And let's go inside. So almost crossing 10,000 feet. Let's see what the checklist is like below once we will probably be here. So let's remember about the passengers, the external lights, the crossfeed knob, which is here, and we didn't need crossfeed between the tanks. So this is off. Altimeters we will change to the barrow that is already prepared here, and then windshield heat will not be needed. As you can see, it's already not needed, so we can just get rid of it. If this is above 10, so the total air temperature in the air, then we don't need those. It seems like everything is nice, so we can seat the passengers. And we can turn on the landing lights. And let's make it dark in the back. That's saying they are still not stowing the tables and opening the shutters, which would be nice, because there is also like an announcement for landing, so we will probably play it somewhere here once we will be closer. And slowly I will want to use lose some speed, because later it's pretty difficult in this plane, as I said. So I'm just removing some power, and we can already mark the stuff that we have done. So external lights on, passengers advised, crossfeed knob off, altimeters, I guess we can set them already. Yeah. So I guess we could set them before, because from what I remember, the transition altitude for Panama is 18,000 feet, so it was possible even before. Let's mark it, altimeters, windshield heating, and now, before the very landing, some more stuff. Let me go to idle, because it's not a long way here, and we can already advise the passengers. And let's close the tables. Oh, they have actually opened them. Normally that's so strange. I had so many flights where I was like angry at the passengers that they are keeping them shut, and now suddenly they are all opened. Oh, that's strange. So it seems like there are still some you can see here turning on Bonnell. It seems like there are still some mysteries left in this plane. Okay, barrow is good. London, okay, flap, airspeed, nice. And we are slowly getting slower. I can move this here and just zoom in, so you will see what we are actually doing. And we will move like this, doing this like crazy loop here. Sadly, the SimBrief plan has not provided any waypoint here, because it would be easier. Actually, there was another route going along the other coast, and then it was there. This one, no. So we will have to kind of do this stupid loop here, I guess. And here we will see Panama City, which actually has a lot of custom buildings that everybody gets. There is also a payware pack from Orbx, but I don't have it installed. When I was flying here, it was looking really good even without it. Actually, we can use some brakes. Here you can see them speed brakes are extended, and they are very, very effective. Okay, let's stall them, so we don't want to stall. And now you need to really watch out. We are under the path that was calculated, but we will still be getting a little bit faster. So I guess I can just take the first notch of flaps. Sometimes the calculated path will be too steep, and then you have to switch to VS and just make it a little bit more shallow, deploy the flaps, and then once again come back to the more steep one, I guess. Now we can add some more power. We should be safe here. I think so, because the trend is a little bit sharp. Let me just... Is it really? Normally I'm never overspeeding it. Okay, I think... Oh, come on, do I have to use the gear? Really? Okay, let's use the gear. Yeah, this is like cheating, okay? But then this is also something that you can do in the real one. And we can see the gear is deploying, and it should be green. Once again, failures, so make sure it's deploying. And with the gear, it's easy. Yeah, sadly. Don't get the full points, I guess, for using the safe method. That is easy to do. And I can go to approach. I have reduced it to runway elevation because I'm actually not sure how this plane will fly this approach, because this approach is very, very strange when it comes to the vertical guidance. So I haven't seen such an approach being flown in the G3000. So just to make sure we will not do anything strange, I put it to the runway elevation. Normally I'm putting it to the minimums, but there is no clear minimums indication here. So just to be sure we will have a nice landing. Okay, we are at flaps 1, so we can go up until 180. I think for a time we can just fly like this one. I just need to watch out here. Yeah, I heard it's not a rare thing to overspeed the flaps in this plane also in the reality, and I can understand why. Okay, but everything works out, at least for now. Is approach doing anything? This is interesting. And we will see what will happen. Yeah, so Panama is there. I hope you'll be able to see it. You can just ramp up the lighting a little bit. So this is only for the panel lighting here. And for the screens. And we are getting faster. So let me make sure we don't overspeed. It's just really a stupid thing to do if you have the gear out. Okay, and it should be fine. So either way we will see those two great hills, because they are here. And the city should be here, and the whole canal is here, which has a lot of details since one of the world updates. Let me add some power. Still have some length to go here. No, actually we have a perfect wind. I wonder if it will change like on short final. We will see. And as you can see, the passengers are unhappy once again. So especially this last situation I don't fully understand, because we told them it will be a landing, so I would not expect them to really complain about the belts being needed and stuff. So, and from what I could see, this has also happened to a 330 driver, but in his other, oh, this here. Yeah, so the view is great, it's just that we cannot see that much. Okay, let me just move to the next notch of flaps. Continue. We have those very high minimums here. Okay, and slowly we will be able to take over from the autopilot here. As I said, it's a very special approach. I'm wondering if it would fly it correctly till the end, but I'm not sure if I want to find out. So, flaps free. Okay, and we can take over. Yaw damper off. Have I clicked it? Yeah, I think so. And let's just land the plane then. Okay, we can see the puppy lights between those two hills. On the left side you can see the harbor buildings. And let's just pay attention to the speed. We are dropping too much. 109 is the approach speed. Let's just even it out. Here you can see all of the great detail. I can really recommend trying it. Let's go back to center line. Yeah, so as expected, a lot of turbulence from those hills. Let's get the nose down. Oh, yeah, floaty from those updrafts. Come on. Really? You can always go around. Really, guys? Gear up. Okay. And let's read what we have to do here. Maintain RNAV trajectory, then left direct to MIBN. Okay. We have MIBN here. I think we have to cycle to MIBN, then direct to MIBN, direct to MIBN. Okay, let's use nav, flight level change. And this is getting worrisome with the go arounds, really. Okay, and what do they want? Oh, it actually wants us to be very low at MIBN, so let's go 3,500 then. Okay, let's see what the temperature is. Okay, flaps are clean, landing gear is clean. Let's just not overspeed here. Yeah, it's a beautiful views, but not what I expected. I guess once we had too much power and it was just a little bit above the glide path, and then we also have those updrafts from those hills, it was just not possible to get rid of the speed. Despite having full flaps, although 3 flaps, maybe with flaps 4, so the non-standard way to do it, it will be easier. Okay, and from MIBN they want us to go back to Bonnell. So let's do it. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that they require you to do this go around at such a low altitude, despite all of the terrain being here, but at least it looks great. So that's something. Yeah, so it's a shame there is no PA for go around. Would be useful. Either way, it's getting a little bit hot, so let me just try to cool it down. Oh, and now I understand why we couldn't arm approach. Okay. So let me just show you. Because in this plane, like in other planes, you have to activate the approach for the plane to enter it. Activate approach. Either way, it was flying it as VNAV, so it was still flying it. It was just me not being able to fly, to land the plane manually on the very last final. Well, with this we will be at least able to take a look at the views 2 times. Maybe this time there will be some more sun, I guess, maybe. Either way, let's not lose any more of your time. I will just come back to you once we will be once again on the final. Thanks. Okay, and we are back on final. Let's just hope that this time it will work nicer. Continue. So now we know what to expect. Sadly, as you can see, the weather is not getting nicer, but at least when we have some sunshine and there is some nice objects visible on the ground. So maybe when we'll be getting closer to touchdown. This time I actually activated the approach, but it has changed nothing. So maybe just because of this RNAV guidance that is used here. So just using it as part of the VNAV approach. Yeah, let's not get... Whoa, that's not me. Raising the nose like this, okay. Let's just get rid of the autopilot and try it. Okay, let's get rid of the yaw damper. Try to maintain the speed that is needed. We're still a little bit too high, I think. A little bit of left crosswind. So it seems like it's better to have less speed than more speed, because we are being thrown away around a lot. Mostly up. So let's see how this will work. Yeah, after this very hot day and with the turbulence effects in MSFS, this is really not an easy thing. Okay, so we are starting to have the same problem that we had before, so let me just get rid of some speed. And just fly it into the ground, so I think otherwise okay, we have done it. We can just see how hard the landing was. Let me just first vacate. Can we vacate here? Let's just take a look at the charts. I think we should be able to. Yep. Just at the very end here. Okay, let's just clean the plane up. And let's vacate. Not the best landing. I think everyone has noticed, actually. Yeah, it wasn't easy because I needed this additional thrust to fight the wind, and at the same time I needed to get rid of it as fast as possible. Okay, let's just clean up the plane. So I need it here. So we don't need this one here. Flaps at 0, lights as required. Let's change to taxi light. We don't need the strobes here. Transponder we can move to off, to standby. TCAS, not sure where I would disable it. And now we only have the shutdown checklist. So let's just taxi. Was this lighting here? Lightning in this case? Yeah, maybe it was just a reflection. Yeah, so as I said, a very interesting approach, although maybe a little bit too ambitious for me, at least with this weather, with those updrafts from the heat, I guess. Or maybe not with realistic turbulence. We'll just see in a second. Is it the side that I wanted to be on? Yeah, I think so. Because there's also another side with some really cool looking hangars, but I think this one might be also the right one. And once again, this is a free airport from Flightim.to, so I can really recommend it. Here you can see the airport buildings, some static planes, and there will be some nice hangars with the interior actually modeled, but at least a little bit. Okay, and we can vacate somewhere here. So let's get rid of the taxi light. A DC-3, pretty impressive. And the port being visible here. Okay. Parking brake on. So thrust levers to idle, they are at idle. Emergency parking brake, so just the parking brake is on. Windshield switches, I think they should be off. Yeah, we have switched them to off. The probes stay in auto, so the pitot heat pretty much. Engine switches, so the heating for the engines. Wing step we haven't used, and now we have just to turn off the engines. So both of those to stop. And now we have sun. Typical. Yeah, so this was for sure my worst landing of the plane up until now. So maybe really a little bit too ambitious, maybe with better weather next time. Let's just see what is left here. So status is okay, and we can just release our passengers. And now we can start deboarding them. I can already see the satisfaction is very low, so probably the landing rate was not very good. But we will just see. I mean, according to this one, the landing was smooth, but I don't think so. But we will just see in a second. Okay, let's just click this through. Leaving the airplane. So I guess we can deboard the passengers. I will just show you in a second how it's done. So we have the screen once again. Let's open both doors and we can unload real time. So a car will come and it will just unload the passengers. Okay, so refreshments and Wi-Fi can go to off as they are being unloaded. And now they should have like normal reception, I guess. Oxygen bottle valve, so we can see it here. Cutout. Okay. Emergency lights switch to off. And battery to off. But I want to wait until we will get rid of the passengers. And we can also get them full light so they can see what they are doing. And we also don't need the nav light anymore. Okay, we can take a look at the back. So full lights here and waiting for the car. Let's just see, 13 seconds, so it's probably visible somewhere already. Let me just see. Yeah, it's coming. So, as can be seen, if you go too close, the models are a little bit dated, or maybe let's say they are optimized. But when you're landing here and it's nice weather, it's really looking great. So where is this? Yeah. And you can also change the car that is coming here. Well, maybe not now, although I'm not sure. Is it in the settings? Yeah, here. You can change the passenger vehicle, I think. Not now, because it's being used. And they should be unloaded one by one, and then after they are gone, their baggage will be also unloaded, and it will be actually visible because it will like be transported to the ground, close to the plane, and then to the car. Okay, so I think it's the moment of truth. We have to check what the landing rate was like. Okay, so I actually got a pretty good rating. So this is our landing. Here you can see my prior landings with the Phenom. As you can see, all of those were pretty much soft. A very small crab in all of those, so I was able to get back on the center line. What I always have a problem with is the pitch, maybe because like my view is wrong. Maybe I should be like this one, so it seems like I'm pitching too high up, but normally this gave me like a lot of control. In this case, as you can see, maybe a little bit less control. Just a second, misclicked here. So let's take a look at everything that we have done. Interesting. Okay, so the landing rate was okay. The G-force is too high. It should be around 1.1 most of the time. Center line was okay. I'm not sure if I can agree with this one. And I think touchdown zone must be bugged. Obviously, we had this those piano bars or whatever they are called, just in one place, which would be the perfect touchdown point. But it seems like this has recognized the touchdown zone as being longer, which is interesting because normally it's pretty accurate when it comes to recognizing it. For some reason, I got the full points here. Obviously, I cannot agree. We have touchdown after the perfect point. So, but this is pretty much the first time that I'm seeing this program making such a serious mistake when it comes to this criterion here. The bank was okay. I'm also not sure if the bank was okay. I think we were pretty much fighting the wind here. And the pitch was also okay. So for some reason, one of my best ratings with the Phenom, I don't think it's deserved at all. But let's say it was not a total disaster. Okay, and let's try to forget about the fact that it actually was the second try because there was a go around also. Okay, so don't mimic me when it comes to the landing technique, right? But I hope, let me go outside. I hope that the flight was interesting for you guys, and I really think it's a very unique plane. Yeah, and not just because it's special, just because really there is no other one like this that would be a jet with maintenance features, full maintenance features, and not just random failures. Actually, we can take a look at the tablet here to see what the status is. So everything is okay. Okay. And we can also take a detailed look here. So we see no red balls, which means that nothing was being damaged. And the brake pads are also fine. Let me take a look here. We have kind of messed up one of the tires. It's interesting because it's always the right one for me for some reason that is getting more wear. Okay. So thank you for following it, and I can really recommend you to take a look at this Real Pilot channel, because for me it was really watching his movies, videos was really the moment when I started feeling this plane. So sometimes I have it, I don't really like a plane on the simulator because I don't really have the context of how it's being really used in real life. And with watching the videos, it has really helped me, made it more immersive, more I was understanding more of the nuances of the plane, which made it more satisfying, I guess, than just understanding it as a plane where you just switch everything to auto and it just works. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for watching. Not my best video for sure, but I hope it was at least entertaining, and I will see you on future GA flying videos, and up until then I will train some more landings, I think.